This is a dog whistle saying that racism and misogyny will no longer be critiqued, but it will be celebrated equally, and if not more, than people that took first steps to change what the United States of America is today. This banner is saying we don't give a about any of that. So you woke up this morning and saw Charlie Kirk sitting next to Catherine Beecher and Booker T. Washington. Let's put all of this into context. Booker T was born into slavery, created the Institute for Black Higher Education, and expanded the college enlisting students in construction of buildings. Booker T was the first black person publicly to meet with the president on equal terms. Next to him is Catherine Beecher. She wrote a treatise on domestic economy for the use of young ladies at home and at school, a book that discussed the underestimated importance of women's roles in society. She spoke out for the education of women in a very unpopular time, to say as such, and she also advocated for teachers to read aloud to students. And then there's Charlie Kirk. What is happening? Objectively, he was a media personality. He called George Floyd a scumbag. He said MLK was awful. He said, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. And there are many publications speaking on Charlie, glorifying a life of subordination for women and girls, apparently, which he said at a young women's leadership summit. But this isn't about anything that I just said. This isn't about any of that or anything that you might have initially thought when you saw Charlie Kirk's banner outside the Department of Education. What this is about is, this is a dog whistle. This is a dog whistle saying that racism and misogyny will no longer be critiqued, but it will be celebrated equally, and if not more, than people that took first steps to change what the United States of America is today. This banner is saying we don't give a about any of that. We don't care. You're gonna deal with it. So that's what that is.
Charlie Kirk dropped out of college. I think he only took 31 credits. We don't know what his grades were, but to be on the Department of Education's building in Washington, D.C., alongside Booker T. Washington, shout out to all you Tuskegee graduates and all the Tuskegee airmen that helped us win World War II. Without them, would not have happened. And Catherine Beecher is... I don't know what to make of it. Garrison Hayes, journalist extraordinaire, of course, NABJ 2024 Salute to Excellence winner, NAACP Image Award nominee. What the boldness, the blatant disdain for women and black people. It's just right. It's right there. To put Charlie Kirk there, it's just.
It's saying something. What it's saying, we'll have to figure out. I think who was the person in the clip that you?
Oh, that
played?
was like a Instagram person.
Okay, I think that person is right that this is a dog whistle. That it's a signal that they're sending out to say this is who we are. This is what we're really about. This is the future. But I will say, if there was ever a version of the Department of Education that Charlie Kirk was worthy to have his banner hung on, it would be this one where they've gutted the Civil Rights Department, where they do not actually pursue cases of discrimination in education, one where they have laid off, fired, tried to diminish every element of the department, where they've compromised the department's influence across all of education. This is the one, actually, that he deserves to have. If there was ever one, this would be the one. The truth, of course, is that Charlie Kirk was not a particularly intelligent person. He was not particularly articulate. He certainly did not advocate for education in any way that would be acceptable for those who don't look like him or believe like him. In any objective sense, Charlie Kirk was more or less a failure, and that needs to be said every time.
Okay, and I concur. I agree. I'm in alignment. I just wish Booker T. Washington and Catherine Beecher did not have to share. Just put Charlie Kirk up there by himself. I think that would be more appropriate for this regime.
Yeah. I wonder what went into the decision to select those two people particularly. I'm especially interested in Book. Do we want to go there? Do we want to go there? I'm interested in why.
You can try it. Go ahead.
I'm not
Try it
going
on.
to do the thing. I'm not going to do the thing, Karen, but I am, of course, interested. There is a distinct history of there's a conversation to be had about the role that Booker T. Washington played and the way that he advocated for what many have kind of identified as a respectability politic. You think about the Atlanta Compromise, make yourself useful to white people in order to secure your rights is effectively what he was advocating for during his time. And I kind of wonder if they know that. Do they know that that's the person they
No.
chose?
Well, so I have come full circle on Booker T, and where I land, Garrison, and everyone listening, is that people have done things to do things to get things done, and the
Real.
work that Booker T has done is irrefutable. Now, however publicly he, said some things, we have George Washington Carver
Hmm.
because of Booker T. Washington. And
Truth.
what he was really doing in building institutions that still exist to this day in the middle of Alabama, some of the
Hmm.
most racist, horrible people who he knew up close because he was enslaved. He
Hmm.
understood how to navigate power to get the things that we need to get. There are many different ways, and this is something that I've come to realize and appreciate. This society will have you in a versus on everything. Will have you fighting
Hmm.
people, to pick a winner, which is why, this. I think we should be looking at all of the people in history through a lens of the fruit that they bore, you know,
Hmm.
because the narratives are always going to be shaped in such a way to elicit an emotional response so that we engage in these public battles over who was right. We could bring Marcus Garvey into the, equation and have that Malcolm versus it's like,
Yeah.
no,
Right.
no, 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 no. And I don't think they know the depth, and if they did it to evoke the thing that you brought up just now, that's even more diabolical because now you're playing into something that very few people really even understand the nuances of a Booker T. Washington and what he was able to accomplish. Which to
I
this
like
day, I
this.
don't know. Wait, hold on. I don't know too many people that could have accomplished what he has done to this
Real.
day. To this
Real.
day.
I'll say this. I think that is the right perspective, and I appreciate it. I kind of I've come to a similar understanding of a person named Isaiah Montgomery, who is responsible for founding Mound Bayou in Mississippi, and ended up leading a life that was he kind of had some marks on his record toward the end. But I do think the fact that Mound Bayou still exists is a testament of something. That idea of institution building is important. And so I want to grant that point for sure. I just wonder, Karen, if there is something, because I was surprised when I saw them tap into the ADOS conversation and the way that they've been able to kind of leverage some of that stuff. And I'm
Oh,
always wondering who is on the inside kind of aware of some of these debates and bringing them to the fore, or is it just entirely coincidental, accidental?
no,
I just
it's
don't know.
not. It's not a coincidence. You also know, even with that. So my question is always the people. What are you gaining by allowing yourself to be used as a wedge
Hmm.
among us? This is a time when we need to be on the same. We ain't got to agree on a lot of things, but we got to
That's right.
show up together at this point because our lives literally are on the line, and they were on the line in November. But we had them people out there talking about not voting because of
Hmm.
Gaza, and anybody with a brain knew if this man was in charge, didn't his son-in-law just say he wanted to turn that into beachfront property? What are y'all missing here? You care about Gaza? Elect somebody you can protest. Elect somebody that's actually going to be held accountable by you. So you also know, Garrison, that this is part of the thing. And as soon as you rear your head up and your rhetoric is in opposition, you should pause and say, why? What is animating this? And you could believe all of the things because all of us can,
Hmm.
especially those of us who are descendants of Africans, yeah, we can get with that. But what's the goal here? What's the goal? Are you being used as a wedge to separate us? And if that's the case, why are you allowing it?
We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend.